So if I'm gonna be V1ing on the right side, which is, you know, my preferred side, I try to be proficient in both, but easier said than done. So if I'm gonna be planting on the right side, so it's asymmetrical, which means your upper body is, like in V2, you're symmetrical, where it looks the same on each side and from upper to lower body. It's asymmetrical in the upper body, or in V1, which means your upper body and lower body are doing different things. So in the upper body, so we kind of have staggered pole plants. So if I'm gonna plant on the right side, I want my pole to be close to my tip to be close to my heel, maybe middle of the foot if it's not too steep. And that's gonna be closer to my chest, kind of splitting the bicep a little bit. So your elbow is up a little bit. And then this hand, my left hand, is gonna be out straight out from my shoulder and in front of my right hand. So that hand is right up in between the bicep, elbows up, pole tip is close to the heel or the middle of the foot. The steeper the hill gets, the farther the poles plant back, actually, not up. So, and then this hand, this off hand, is out from here. So I can plant like this. You see my nose, knee, toe, and wheel are all in the same direction like that. So I'm here. And then as the poles plant, I'm crunching my upper body and moving over to this ski. And the end position is just like this, or like this, I guess, with your elbows extended. And then when you're on the weak side, what you can think about is just trying to get back up into a nice positioning. You see both of her poles and the left ski all plant at the same time. And then as soon as the right poles plant, the body's moving over.
Your two poles and your foot go down at exactly the same time to get that power. And really thinking like all three at once and then one, because sometimes I see people like it's a little bit offset, and just to get that perfect amount of power down all at once, you want all three to plant at once. And then the other thing I like to feel for is just playing around with V1 can be kind of restful if you find ways that you're actually, when all your weight is on one foot, you can rest your other leg. So I like to kind of feel, I like to play with how well I can transfer my weight to allow that other leg to rest for just a split second, because it really adds up when you're doing something like a Berkey. So finding ways to be relaxed and making sure all three are going at once. Those are the things I think about.
So if I'm V1ing on the right, like this, I set up, and this, you can see how my foot is. So I have the weight on the forefoot, and then my knee and ankles are bent. So my knee is kind of pressed over my foot like this. And then when I push off, I go on to the left, and this foot, it doesn't fall behind or open up like that. It just kind of floats right over to me. And then same thing when I come back, this foot will float over. What I like to think of is you have a little box or rectangle around your feet in the V1, and you're trying to keep your feet in this little box or rectangle. So that can prevent two things. It prevents, one, your foot from falling behind you, and two, from stepping onto the ski out in front of you rather than gliding. So we want to avoid those two things. And if you kind of keep your feet in this nice little box right underneath you, that helps to keep the pressure right where you want it and the weight on your skis appropriately. So we're gonna start very simple, just thinking about where our feet are, making sure we're not stepping onto the skis. A good cue for that is how loud your skis are. You should be skiing nice and quiet. So if you're stepping, you're gonna hear really loud steps. Whereas if you're gliding, it's gonna be a lot quieter like that.